Hey friends, today I want to share with you some learnings from this awesome book, The Power of TED by David Emerald. Before diving in though, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard a story about a high school football star who never made anything of his life? This is the guy who had everything going for him. He was athletic, charismatic, had a bright future ahead, but 20 years later, he never made anything of himself, and he just drinks beer at the bowling alley and reminisces over the glory days.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin quarter mile.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Or what about the homecoming queen that was with that player who settled into the unhappy life and never took action to do anything about it? I know these are just stereotypes, but these stories exist. And let me ask you, why is it that some people can create repeated success in their lives and others just complain and wallow in defeat? Why is it that sometimes we can feel invincible and in control and other times we feel trapped and helpless? Because I've been there. I'm sure you've been there too. Well, this book, The Power of TED, explains how we get stuck and what we can do to change our mindset so that we can live and lead the life that we want. If you're new here, my name's Clark and I help leaders level up their performance and high performers level up their leadership. And I've worked with hundreds of leaders, and every one of them at one point or another has struggled to take action that will help them succeed. And I've worked with a lot of high performers who also, they get stuck in a rut and they struggle to break free. Everyone has navigated these situations at some point. And I want to share with you some learnings from this book that have helped me get out of a rut, level up my own self-leadership, and have helped my clients take charge of their own life. Now, I know I started this video with a story about the high school athlete who ends up reliving the glory days.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
But let's bring this to our own common experience. Have you ever been in a situation where you have a negative experience with another person, but instead of speaking up about it, you don't say anything? Or maybe your boss gets angry at a meeting and berates you. Maybe a coworker is going to miss a deadline and you have to pick up the slack. Or maybe your spouse has something to say that hurts you, but instead of saying anything, you hide your feelings and reactions and say nothing at all. Consider what happens here. The problem doesn't go away. We still feel terrible. We start to blame that other person for how we feel. We start to think, well, my boss is a jerk, my coworker is lazy, my spouse just doesn't understand. Now, in all these cases, the real problem is not the other person. The real problem is our inability or our indecision to act upon our own behalf, to speak up and say what we feel, what we want, what we need. Something is holding us back from speaking. The problem is, most of us are not aware of what is actually holding us back. Now, before we can talk about how we move forward, we have to talk about this, what holds us back. Now, the biggest problem, the biggest thing holding us back in these situations is this. We're playing the victim.
No! See. No!
It's like we're part of a drama or a fairy tale, and we are like Cinderella. We believe that we are surrounded by wicked stepmothers and evil stepsisters. When we play the victim, we are playing a character in a story, in a drama, and to be more specific, in a drama triangle. Now, friends, before I teach you this concept, beware. Drama triangles are everywhere, and once you know about them, you will begin to see them everywhere. Now, in this book, David Emerald describes the three key roles or characteristics in drama. Now, the drama triangle was not originally from David Emerald. It actually comes from Stephen Karpman's work in the 1960s. Now, Karpman's drama triangle includes three roles. The first role is the victim. The victim is the person who has been hurt. They feel out of control, and not like Wild Child out of control, but they feel like they literally do not have control over the situation. The victim feels powerless, helpless, hopeless, and at the mercy of others. Now, if you've ever worked for a loud and angry boss, then you know what it feels like to feel helpless and hopeless. But the victim will say things like, well, this isn't my fault. That's not fair. Well, why me? And for the record, playing the victim and being victimized are two different things. When someone acts upon us against our will, we are being victimized. We're victimized whenever we experience an act of violence or when somebody cuts us off in traffic. But playing the victim is when we are in a situation where we could do something, but we don't. And instead, we justify our inaction by saying and believing, it's not my fault, I can't do anything. Now, in order for the victim to feel helpless, they need a person or a situation to make them feel that way. That's why the second role in the drama triangle is the persecutor. The persecutor is the cause of the victim's problems. Now, persecutors are those who, in the victim's mind, are out to get them. Here's the interesting thing though. The persecutor is also a victim. The victim says, it's not my fault. The persecutor says, well, it's not my fault, it's yours. The persecutor avoids taking action and ownership by blaming someone else. Now, David Emerald notes how we shift back and forth between these two roles. He also notes how both victims and persecutors once had a dream destroyed, and they both feel out of control. Now, if your boss says, well, this isn't my fault, whose fault is this? Then they are playing both the victim and the persecutor. Now, in the drama triangle, we still need one more role. In the old fairy tales, the victim is the damsel in distress, and the persecutor is the dragon guarding the castle. Who comes to save the day? The knight in shining armor.
What up?
Now, in the drama triangle, this person is called the rescuer. Now, the rescuer thrives on drama because they get to step in and save the day. Now, while the victim is thinking, poor me, this isn't my fault, the rescuer thinks, poor you, this isn't your fault, I'll save you. And the rescuer gets to feel valued and important in being able to help the victim. Now, why am I sharing these three roles with you? Well, when we show up in any one of these roles, we are contributing to drama. When we look for someone to blame, we are being the persecutor. We create victims. When we complain about our problems and don't take action, we're playing the victim. When we jump into action on behalf of another person, we are rescuing them. We're looking for victims. Even when we listen to a friend and validate their feelings, we're playing the rescuer. We're living in drama, and it keeps us stuck. Now, I know complaining and venting can feel good, and there is benefit in airing our feelings. The problem comes with the mindset that we bring to that conversation. Venting is a neutral behavior, but it becomes complaining when we become the victim, when we convince ourselves that we don't have control, when we tell ourselves the story that we can't do anything about our situation. And I get that sometimes it can really feel this way. I mean, have you ever worked for a persecutor who's always looking for you to blame? It can make you feel trapped.
We have sort of a problem here.
Or if you've ever worked with a collaborator and they're a low performer, you have to pick up their slack, it can feel like you have to do all the work. It's inescapable. But it doesn't have to be this way. There is another way. There is another mindset that can set us free. Now, that mindset is that of the creator. Now, where does this term come from? Well, David Emerald shares a story about when he's going through his divorce and he's playing the victim and he's tired of being a victim. And so he tells himself, I'm tired of being the victim. And he thinks, what is the opposite of victim? And he immediately heard the answer in his head. The opposite of victim is the creator. Now, from this new insight, he developed a whole new triangle, one that empowers us to take action and own our destiny. Instead of being a victim who has no control and feels helpless, the creator owns their situation. The creator takes responsibility, even if something is not their fault. While the victim is focused on the problem and is immersed in their own feelings of distress, the creator is focused on what they want. They are focused on the solution. Now this, in turn, fills them with passion and the drive to act. Now, the creator is going to face challenges, but they don't see people as persecutors who are out to get them. They see these people as challengers who give them the opportunity to step up, to take action, and to grow. And given that the creator is focused on what they want and in taking action, they don't want or need a rescuer, but they do need a guide. That person is called the coach. Now, this version of the triangle, David Emerald called the empowerment dynamic. In the drama triangle, all the characters lead with this belief that they are victims, they're helpless, they need saving. The characters in the empowerment dynamic, they lead with self-belief. The creator believes that they have the power to create their future, to impact outcomes, and to change. The coach believes the creator is capable as well, and the challenger also believes in the creator. If you've ever worked for a boss who positively challenged you with stretch projects and big goals, then you know what it's like to work with someone who believes in you, a positive challenger. Now, thanks to Cartman and Emerald, we have language now to describe how we're showing up and to determine where we might be stripping our own power. Now, overall, it is the creator who's the one that achieves. The victim just stays stuck. But these roles come from the way we think. They are mindsets. The creator is a mindset. And it's not a mindset where just some people are lucky to have it. It is a mindset that we can develop. Here's how. Hey friends, quick note. I just realized when editing the video here that everything up until this point you could read about and learn about in The Power of TED. But everything from here on out is not in the book. These are just tools that I use for myself and with my clients in order to enhance performance. So here you go. Step 1, take responsibility. This means taking ownership over every aspect of your life, good or bad. So take inventory on where you're crushing it and where you're not. It's easy to take ownership in areas where we're crushing it. I mean, are you doing well at work? You might say, oh yeah, that's all me, I'm crushing it. You doing well at the gym? Oh yeah, that's all me as well. Are you struggling with a relationship? Oh no, that's not my fault, that's the other person's fault. That is not the language of the creator. The creator takes responsibility. Now, this can be one of the hardest things to do, but every decision we've ever made or avoided has landed us right here. Every good or bad relationship that we have had is because of the actions that we did or didn't take. At the end of the day, it all comes down to us. Now, of course, life is going to happen to you. A family member might get sick, you might lose your job for reasons outside of your control. And while we can't exactly take responsibility for things that the universe has in store, we absolutely can and should take responsibility for how we respond. Now, I come from a health and fitness background, and I would work with clients who are both victims and creators. And the victims would say things like, oh, I couldn't work out last week. Oh, I had to work late, and my kids had a school function, and I got sick. Now, all this may sound reasonable, but my creators sounded different. My creator clients would say, oh, I chose not to work out last week. Or, I didn't work out last week because I chose to focus on work and my kids' school events. The difference in these two perspectives is ownership. I couldn't versus I choose. Start by taking ownership over your choices to act or to not act. Now, after taking responsibility, we can move into step 2. That is, identify what you want.
Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
What are your goals? What are you working towards? How are you growing? Now, when you think about what you want and your goals in life, there are 3 general realms of performance to consider. Realm number 1 is the personal realm. This is all about you, your growth, your development. This might include your health and fitness, your learning goals, striving for self-mastery, whatever it is, it's all about you. Without developing realm number 1, we will be limited to how we can grow realm number 2. That realm is the relational realm. This is all about our relationships. This could be our spouse, family, kids, friends, or even our coworkers. This realm is about the quality of relationships that we have. Now, your goals here may be different depending on which relationships you're focused on. You may want different things in different relationships, and of course that is okay, but at least create clarity. Our clarity and progress in realm 2 will serve as either an accelerator or an inhibitor to realm number 3, our professional realm. This is all about our work and productivity. How are we building something to be in service of others, something bigger than ourselves? So we've taken responsibility. We know what we want. What's next? Well, now it's time to take action. Creators take action in alignment with what they want. Procrastinators are not creators. And I say that knowing full well that I am a recovering procrastinator. When I used to procrastinate, I would say, oh, I can't do that. I need more information. I need to plan more. I can't do that because, excuse. This is textbook victim mindset. Creators choose to take action. Now, looking at your list of goals, what actions are you taking to make progress? Big actions, small actions. What are the smallest actions that you can take to make progress? Now, with these 3 steps, we can shift our mindset away from victimhood and toward empowerment. But that does not mean that we are changed and all is right with the world. We are going to slip back into victim mode. This is a human reaction. So what do we do about that? Listen, friends, the victim mindset exists because it's easy. It keeps us comfortable. It feels safe. Taking responsibility can be tough. I work with leaders who are responsible for millions or billions of dollars in revenue. They have tens to dozens to hundreds of people on their team. There is a burden to taking responsibility. With that kind of pressure, it can be tempting to say, I don't want that responsibility. Now, it's not just leaders who bear the burden of responsibility. We all have responsibilities.
I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
Let's take a personal responsibility for our health, for example. Let's say you go to the gym and you're crushing it, But you go for 6 weeks straight, you don't see any results, and you're upset. Well, that victim voice might start to whisper. It might say to you, hey, it's not your fault. It's just genetics. And hey, there's a bunch of extra calories in that food you're eating that you didn't know about, and it's totally not fair. There's nothing you can do about it. It's okay. It can be tempting to succumb to this voice. Don't do it. It's a trick. With the plan, you can recognize this voice for what it is, and it goes by many names. The fear voice, the gremlin, the critic, the inner bitch, whatever you want to call it. Just know that this voice has a job to keep you safe. There is safety in avoiding risk and in avoiding responsibility. But when you hear yourself making an excuse, shift your language away from the I can't, which is victim, to I choose, which is the creator. So I may go from this victim verbiage of I can't have that conversation with my coworker to the creator language. I'm choosing not to have that conversation with my coworker because right now I'm emotionally fired up. I need some time. Now that other voice, the empowered voice, it also goes by many names. The inner advocate, the faith voice, the higher self, the inner boss, whatever you want to call it, recognize it, lean into it, let it guide you. Remember, friends, the victim mindset is the one that keeps us stuck in the past, never growing, and always feeling distress. But we have the power to build an empowering mindset, the creator mindset. Take ownership, know what you want, and take action. It may not feel easy, but it is simple. Go crush it, friends. Thanks for being here, and until next time.